It's your options guy. Welcome back to another video. If you're new, welcome. I make daily videos showcasing my gains and losses of the day. So in today's video, we're going to talk about which options plays I did and what I'm planning to do. We're also going to talk about what's going on with PLTR and the current news, and also what's going on with politics in general and how it would affect the stock market basically. So today was overall a good day. Bounced back a little bit, but still not that much. Maybe next week. I feel like next week would probably be a better week, but next week could also be a crazy week. It's the first week of the new year, and a lot of things can happen. Overall, this past week has been kind of like a huge kill, but not too worried as long as the Palantir keeps going up or stays the same. I feel like pretty comfortable with how things are going. Over the year, I'm still up a good amount. I want to get back to the 115, 120 range where I was about last week. Anyway, so let's get into my options. So here I have options that I bought, and their expiration is far out, March 19. So I'm feeling okay with those because if you see here, the break-even price is only 28.76. We were there just like last week, so I feel like by March that shouldn't be a problem. And we'll see what happens, especially with like the demo day coming up as a potential catalyst, and then also earnings coming up in March. Overall, I have 6,000 shares. I'm still negative, and this is really only negative because of like $3 and a couple cents. So once PLTR goes back up to the 28 range, then I should no longer be in the negative. Both of these should actually be positive. If you watch my last video, I did have some options that I was selling. I was selling some covered calls at the 28.50 strike price. I did close them out today and made around, I think it was 2,320 around there. I closed it a little bit early. I didn't want to wait for like that extra $100 or so. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to close it. Tomorrow, if PLTR goes up maybe to the 25, high 25s or 26 range, then I'll be able to, if I decide to, I can sell calls for the week later, or next week, I mean, and then that way I get more premium. So, yep, that's the plan. Okay, so let's talk about some news. So let's switch over here. So I do follow StockTwits, and I follow the Palantir group just to see what everyone's talking about. So someone pointed out, and there's a lot of people talking about this, that someone bought 3,150,000 worth of shares at $25.10. So that was equivalent to somewhere around almost $80 million that someone bought in the post market. So just a little bit after the market closed today. So that's pretty interesting. It's kind of like a bullish signal, I would say, but it's a little bit interesting just to see that happening. Okay, so another thing that's going on is a lot of people are talking about this acquisition or Mithril buying Palantir, and the way I see it is basically one of the founders of Palantir, he has this other separate company. It's more like an investment firm, and that company is trying to buy out Palantir just to have like a bigger stake in that company. And it seems like they're getting the right to go through with this. We'll see what happens, but maybe they're also part or the cause of this huge buy of shares in the post market. Okay, so after doing a little bit more research, I went into the Wall Street Bets, and this guy was kind of explaining like his analysis of it. Now I know the Wall Street Bets is definitely not the best place to look for information, but it is what it is, and it's information nonetheless. So what this guy is saying, or person, I don't know if it's a guy, but what they're saying is that basically is what I said before. So it says right here. So it could be that a majority stake PLTR has been acquired by Mithro, but we do know how much exactly, or I think he meant to say we don't know, or when the acquisition will take place. And then down here, he explains more in detail how, what does this mean for shareholders if it's the case that Mithro buys up a large of the float. That would certainly be a bullish and would definitely squeeze the shorts, blah, blah, blah. So to me, it just seems like what I was saying, that the founders, other companies, is probably just wanting majority stake into Palantir, which could be a good thing, but who knows really. And then if you look down here into the comments, there's some people that are saying, oh, please hold my hands if this is bullish. I want to know if this is good news or bad news, and more other information that, yeah, it's Wall Street bets for you. Okay, and lastly, the last thing that we need to talk about is what's going on next week, because next week is actually very important. So on January 5th, there's going to be a runoff election, basically. And what this means is on November 3rd, out of the candidates in Georgia, none of them acquired the majority of votes. So there was no clear winner, basically. So they're having another election on January 5th. And this is actually really important, because if the Republicans win here, then they would control majority in the Senate, which would actually be a good thing for us, because if the one side is controlled by the Republicans and the other side is controlled by the Democrats, then that's more of like a lock within Congress, and less changes would happen within the government. So as for us investors and for the stock market, that's actually a good thing, because that way there's not that many changes, so there can't be any crazy taxes or new laws passed with these, especially hurting us investors in the stock market. So definitely something that you should be watching out for to see what happens next week. Okay, and back to my portfolio. So where do I think PLTR is gonna go next week, or even tomorrow? So it was able to hold the 25 support line, which is good. It seemed like it was about to reach 26 at one point, and then just bounced back. And it was hovering around 25, 30-ish for a while, up until here towards the end of the day, where it started just falling back down under 25. But it quickly came back over the 25 towards the end of the day. So 25 seems to be a pretty good support for today. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I really don't expect this to keep dropping any further. However, there's a lot of rumors about a lockup period that expiring tomorrow, I believe. And then it's either tomorrow or after the 1st that employees of Palantir can start selling their own stock. So I don't know if this is actual true, or if the actual expiration date is later on in February or March. There's kind of two sides of the story here. But either way, I feel that Palantir has good support at 25. If it stays above 25 tomorrow, if it can hold that in the morning, I feel like it might end up closer to 26 towards the end of the day. And then again, next week is a really important week for a lot of things. A lot of things is happening, not just for Palantir, but in general. So overall, I still feel very bullish on this, and I'm gonna keep holding out as long as I can, and keep selling covered calls when I feel like the stock might be going down, or it might just be flatlining. So that's it for today. Please give a like, please subscribe. That would definitely help out. Please give a comment if you have any questions. I'll get to your comments as soon as possible. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.